Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Love Island USA Season 7 Episode 20. And I gotta say, y'all, I'm an A1 Day 1 Love Island USA fan and Love Island UK fan and Love Island Australia fan. I am so done with this season. When I tell you I'm so done, I feel like Love Island USA, they're trying to correct all these mistakes that have been made this season, and it keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. There's too much production interference, and it's difficult to watch. Make it make sense. So we're supposed to supposedly be at Casa Amor, and it is just nothing but depression. It is nothing but sadness and tears and fighting like Survivor to stay on the show. Make it make sense. Casa Amor is typically supposed to be a fun 2, 3, 4 days, depending on the series, depending on the franchise. And you are supposed to explore new connections, right? And the big, with Casa Amor, why it gets so many ratings is because you find out whether or not these people want to go back to their original couples, or if they want to bring somebody back and be in a new couple with somebody else. And then it adds the shock value, it adds the drama, it adds all the intrigue, it adds all the mysteriousness. But this season they said, no, we're gonna scrap all that because there's no connections, because everybody's playing Big Brother. Everybody's trying to play the traitors. Everybody's playing Survivor. Nobody is playing Love Island. Make it make sense. You're dumping all the connections. You dumped Jeremiah, which I still think is foul, who had a real connection building with Adrina. You dump Hannah, who had a real connection with Pepe, and it's just been nothing but chaos ever since, you guys. Nothing but chaos ever since. Not as upset about the Charlie dumping, because it sounds like from Hannah's interviews that there was more of a deeper connection there with Pepe anyway, so not too much on that. But as we left off, Amaya and TJ were at risk of being dumped from the villa, and they had 24 hours to, get going and get to know these Casa people. However, my issue is that usually at Casa Amor you play fun games. You have like a villa versus the Casa Amor competition where like somebody kisses like the shortest and the tallest person kiss, or the person who is the youngest and the oldest kisses, or it's like things like that, and whoever does it the fastest, it gets like a pool party, right? But like it's just something fun to liven it up for you to get to know these other people or whatever else. Have fun little pranks, have fun little challenges, but it has just been exhausting. It has been exhausting to sit through these episodes, right? So the climax of these episodes, because really it was just a lot of wasted conversations. Amaya, she really is into JD and Zach with a K. Her and Zach with a K have another kiss. We also get to see everybody sleeping in their beds, both at Casa Amor and the villa. Find it interesting that Ace has no problem sleeping in the bed with Vanna or Yelisa, but had such a huge issue that he had to sleep out in Soul Ties when he was coupled up with Amaya. Like it's just weird behavior. Also, nothing really happened in the beds, either in the villa or Casa Amor. Also, I see Ace is already plotting. He's also plotting his escape from Vanna, and it sounds like him and Taylor are basically going to do some type of, swapping of sorts, to where now all of a sudden Ace is going to try to, talk to Coco, and, Taylor and Nick are going to swap. He's going to try to talk to Clark now, Taylor is, and again, I want to say this because I'm an Alandria fan. Taylor's not interested in Alandria. He's definitely interested in Clark and Coco. This is the most animated I've seen them. He's up here talking. He's giving all these compliments unprovoked. How beautiful they look. How good they smell. How they're wearing his favorite color. The other episode prior talking about being married and having each other's last names and all this and all that. No. You're just not into Alandria, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're intimidated by her. I don't know if her maturity, brings out your insecurity or what it is, but it's very annoying, right? The switch up is crazy. So really, we get through boring conversations with Jaden and Austin, and I don't care about them. Nick is trying to talk, and get to know these people, but, he's not really feeling these Casa girls. This might be the first season where overall these men are not into these Casa girls, and I don't blame them, right? Coco and Clark are giving it, Pepe has found his Hannah clone, but if you blinked, you missed it, because I don't remember seeing them in the episode. We go over to Casa Amor. Huda's going on about the fact that she's a mom. We already know. JD knows. Now she's saying it's not a big deal. She has no problem keeping it a secret or no problem telling people, and she has no problem dating people. But my thing is, why did you keep it a secret on the show? Why was it such a big secret to keep? Like, you should have just led with that. Make it make sense. So, nonetheless, JD, I don't know, he's weird. I don't know, he's giving a plant. He's like, it's like, I feel like he's basically there to be like positive PR for Huda. And it's giving nothing. Their connection to me is giving nothing. I felt he had a more meaningful conversation with Amaya, but that's just me. And, I'm just not featuring it. I don't care, right? It's just giving, I know that America voted you favorite girl, so let me hop on this bandwagon. We can ride this in the sunset. No. So then we get Chris and Shelly. They're having some good conversations, although we're not seeing Shelly get breakfast from him. So I don't know if that's an editing thing, because when Shelly was looking out the next day, he's busy, working out and stuff. So I don't know if he did or did not make her anything, but from what we saw in the episode, he's not making her breakfast like Ace has, right? So we have Alandria. Zach with the K really wants to get to know Alandria. However, she basically shut him down and said, well, I'm not going to be kissing anything. I'm not going to be doing anything outside of any challenges, this and that. And here's the thing, Alandria. I understand what you're saying. However, it is week 4. It is week 4. And at this point, y'all are sending people home. Y'all is in the Islanders. Y'all are sending people home because y'all are saying people are not focusing on other connections and getting to know other people, right? That was the rationale y'all sent home Jeremiah, right? That y'all were not getting to know other people. Y'all were too locked in with one person. Yeah, that was y'all rationale with Hannah, even though that made 0 sense. Because I felt like she got 2 experiences and her and Pepe were progressing and could have been a Final 4 couple. But nonetheless, now all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't want to get to know these people. I don't want to talk to these people. I'm locked in with Taylor. Taylor and I are married and nothing's gonna happen, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Alandria is being delusional about Taylor, or her and Taylor made some type of pact off camera that no matter who comes in, they were gonna stick together. But the audience sees the fact that Taylor is way more interested in these Casa girls than he is you, and you not wanting to talk to anybody, but it's the same thing that y'all came at Jeremiah for, is weird. It's just weird behavior. So I don't know what's going on over there. And I like Alandria, but I don't understand the method to her madness at Casa. It's making 0 sense. Shelly is open talking to Chris, getting to know him. They're having good conversations. Sierra, she's open to, talking to Nick's doppelganger and Casa Amor, who looks to be a little bit more taller. But then she's even crashing out over Nick over Nicolas, over Mr. 25 Seconds of heaven and all this and that, and I just don't understand. I'm like, why are we crying over somebody who is a known player who is out here in the streets? So that was that. Nothing else really happened, except for the big reveal was this half hour of my time, because I think the hour was long again. it was like 35 minutes or something crazy for this elimination that made 0 sense, you guys. So essentially what happens in both the villa and at Casa Amor is if you feel that you have a stronger connection with somebody that you're not in a couple with, and they have Amaya come to the front, they have TJ come to the front, and they say, please stand, right? So what happens is at the villa, we have Vanna that stands for TJ, so now they're a couple, right? And then at Casa Amor, we have Kay who stands, and stands up for Amaya, right? So they're a couple, right? So then the next thing is they say, okay, so now that means Alondria, you got to stand to the front. And it was a lot of crying Amaya was doing. It was a lot of back and forth and everything else. And the interesting thing with Alandria, she did not like try to fight for any of her connections or try to, you know, talk to anybody else because there was a question like, okay, if anybody else feels they have a, you know, stronger connection with Alandria than the person they're coupled up with, please stand, and nobody stood. But I feel like there could have been an opportunity there for, you know, somebody else to stand if she was more open getting to know these other Casa dudes. But I feel like she wasn't open, so there was that. Because to keep it a buck, the people who really should be gone is really Iris and Huda, right? Like I just feel a certain way that like Huda's getting a whole redemption arc, and it's weird. Like you can tell she's being coached by production to stop the crashing out, to stop cussing people out and calling them a bleep, bleep, bleep. And it's weird, right? So then we go over to the villa, and we have like a little bit of musical chairs, right? Because next up, as a result of Vanna choosing TJ, that puts Ace on the chopping block. And I was here for Ace being on the chopping block. But basically what happened was they, you know, they were like, anybody stand who feels they have a stronger connection with Ace than their current couple. So then Coco stands up, right? So now Coco and Ace are in a couple. So then as a result of that, now you have Taylor that's single and vulnerable, right? So then they're like with Taylor, okay, anybody stand up who has a stronger connection outside of their couple than they do with their current couple. So then Clark, you know, gets up and is like, I have a stronger connection with Taylor. So her and Taylor are a couple now. And then that leaves Nick vulnerable, right? And so Nick has to now get in front of, Nicolas has to get in front of the fire pit. And so they're like, okay, so anybody got a stronger connection with Nick, please stand up. I thought Jaden was going to stand up, but, you know, Ace was giving Jaden this death stare, like, you better stand up or else, or I'm going to ruin you. And then Austin is like burning his eyes into her soul, like, you better not stand up because I've had 50-11 chances up in this villa. I am the Bergie of this season. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere until, you know, production tells me it's time to go. So nonetheless, Jaden does not stand, and nobody stands for Nick. And Nick is eliminated, and Ace is falling apart. Ace and Taylor, they are crying tears. I don't know if tears actually came out of Ace's eyes, but they are crying more for Nick's elimination. Taylor is showing more emotion for Nick's elimination than I have seen him give any to Alandria. Make it make sense. So Ace is looking like my plan has all fallen apart. We were all supposed to make it to the finale. We were all supposed to be the final couples. What the Welliance? This is not how it was supposed to be scripted. We got Nick. He is packing up his things, talking about some, you know, he's pulling up all of his photos from the photo booth, and he's like, Sierra and I were supposed to have a date. And I'm thinking to myself, well, all those dates that Ace made you and Taylor plan for Shelly could have been an opportunity for you to plan something for Sierra. Like, make it make sense. And also, Love Island, you can send these Islanders out on dates. Where is the romance? Why do they have to plan all this stuff in the villa and y'all are too cheap to send these people out on some dates? Make it make sense. Like it's weird. So he's packing up. He's gearing up to go. We already see Orlandria leave. Shelly's falling apart. That was her sister in the villa. So she's just hugging her so many times. Orlandria, she's trying to keep a cool, keep her composure. And you know, everybody keeps apologizing. Amaya keeps apologizing. And Orlandria's like, listen, I've had to be strong all my life. I was raised by a single mom, this and that. I've been through it all, right? I've been through it all. So they all give her another hug. And then right before she leaves, you know, the villa, you know, then Shelly runs again to her to give her a hug. Like, Shelly is really taking this hard. And Huda, I don't know. Huda was really trying to make this elimination about herself. And I'm like, girl, like stop it. Stop it, girl. So nonetheless, Orlandria leaves the villa. She said that she had been single for 5 years, and it's weird because Huda's like, you know, what about your man Taylor? What about Taylor? And I'm like, y'all need to move on from Taylor. Taylor is in heaven with Coco and you know, Clark. So nonetheless, Orlandria leaves, right? And then Nick leaves. And then Ace is up here talking about how this is his best friend and everything else. You know, we got Taylor crying, talking about how that's his A1 day one and all this and all of that. They're falling apart. So then what happens is, you know, at the end here, we see, I think it was a G-Wagon that is circling around and is driving around. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go. And so what happens is, as Nick is leaving, the G-Wagon pulls up and the door opens and it's Orlandria and she's like, come on, Nick, get in. Come on, Nick, get in. And I'm like, this is giving like so phony to me. It's giving so phony to me. Like, what are we doing? So here's my problem with this, right? This quote unquote elimination, right? Is number one, the Jeremiah petition has like almost 70,000 signatures and y'all can't bring back Jeremiah. But nonetheless, we can bring back Nicolas, right? And it's like, okay, like for me at this point, this whole ruse, I feel like this is just setting up to give Nick and Sierra the win. Because here's what's happening. Y'all are doing too much fighting on the internet about Orlandria and Shelly that by default, Nick and Sierra are about to win this show. They are about to win this show until further notice. So basically, this is a fake out dumping because it doesn't say anything about leaving the villa. It just says that you've been dumped from Casa Amor, you've been dumped or whatever. But nonetheless, I think they'll be back. I think they're going to be in the hideaway or at some hotel somewhere, probably looking at footage of their couples in Casa Amor and at the villa to see how their connections are going. So hopefully this is a wake-up call for Orlandria, that Taylor is giving way more to these Casa girls than he is to her. And hopefully that wakes her up. But I just don't know. And then for the Nick Orlandria fans, y'all, like what are we doing? Y'all are up here planning their weddings and planning them winning the show together, and I'm confused. I'm confused because we don't know the extent of what this quote-unquote twist is. We don't know if they have to couple up or if that would be interesting too. But from what it looks like to me is they're probably going to come back at the end of Casa Amor, and it'll be a whole shock to both the villa and the Casa people. And basically the decision will have to be made whether, you know, Taylor wants to stay in his Casa couple with Clark, or if he wants to get back with Orlandria, as well as Sierra, if she wants to stay in her Casa couple, or if she wants to get back with Nick, is what I think is going to happen, right? It's obvious and clear as day that Nick and Sierra are going to get back together because Nick really, as much as Nick wanted to have fun and be a playboy in Casa Amor, the girls were not on the level of for Nick to be risking it all at Casa Amor, for him to be doing anything like that. So nonetheless, now he was trying to get that screen time in, but he wasn't serious about any of these chicks. So nonetheless, you know, we have what we have as far as the material goes, and I think that's what's going to happen. I wish Jeremiah was in that G-Wagon, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be because he apparently has already done his first podcast interview with the Vile Files or whatever. So I'm like, oh man, that would have been nice for Jeremiah to come back because I felt like, you know, he was a big threat. Like, I don't think the fans would have voted for Jeremiah to win, but I definitely think he would have been a finalist. I think he had enough to make it through as a finalist, or at least make it right before the final, depending on how much his connection with Adrina progressed, right? And obviously that was too much of a threat to these men in the villa. And but yeah, I feel like at this point with Love Island USA, they're doing way too many shenanigans to try to get shock factors and wow factors instead of just giving us a good show. Just giving us the elements of Love Island that we love, which are going on dates, people building and forming genuine connections, people really getting to know each other and having really meaningful and deep conversations. This season has just been all about drama. It's been about all these other couples worried about what everybody else is doing and not worried about what their own couple is doing and trying to sabotage these other couples. And because it was even like Nick and Ace were even having a conversation about what to do about Taylor, and it's like, well, why do y'all care, right? But nonetheless, like that's what the show has turned into. It's turned into Big Brother. It's turned into alliances. It has turned into The Traitors. It has turned into Survivor. Instead of Love Island, we want to see romance. We want to see dates. We want to see these people, building on something. What are we supposed to be voting for in a couple of weeks as far as a winner goes when there hasn't been a romantic journey for any of these people? Like, make it make sense? No dates, no romantic journey. And if we're going based off of that, really, if you want to keep it a buck, the most who has the most argument is Shelly and Ace. But y'all are busy decampaigning and spreading propaganda. Their family has already came out and denied that they have had any romantic connection or have been involved romantically with each other. They already came out episode 1 and said what the extent of their connection was, and y'all don't believe it, but it's the same thing that happened with Ella and Tyreek on season 10 of Love Island UK, and there wasn't all this decampaigning for them. Like y'all are moving mad weird. Y'all are moving mad weird. Love Island even tried to put up a little blurb about cyberbullying and hate, and y'all still have not stopped. Y'all still have not stopped these new fans who are just worried about spreading lies and spreading rumors and all this and that. It's ruining the show. It's ruining the show, and there's too much discourse about these looks and features and colorism. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Zach with a K was interested in Alondria. He knew that the moment they got back to that villa, she was going to choose Taylor. So he's going to risk himself getting dumped. Amaya was the better option for him in the sense that he knew that he could stay a little bit longer and then figure it out from there. Like it had nothing to do with whether or not somebody was attracted to somebody or not. Like y'all are just taking things, too far. So there's that. That is all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.